What's up? It's Keith Knapp with Site Buddy, and today I'm going to show you how to take payments from your website using Gravity Forms. So, as you can see, we're logged into our master template builder here. We're on the dashboard page, and where we're going to go is we're going to go to Forms up here. We're going to go to All Forms, and as you can see, we don't have any, so we're going to create a new form. So we're going to call this payment test. Show the world how to take payments on their website. Create form. All right. Now that we're in Gravity Forms, you're going to see that this has got some of the basic information. I'm going to move my pretty little quarantine face over here. All right. And as you can see, we've got some building to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some of the advanced fields, and I'm just going to build a basic payment form. So we're going to go name first. Let's do email address because that's always important. Phone number. Standard fields, advanced fields. So we want to put their address in here, so we'll put address. Post fields, title. Let's do, we're going to need a product field so that we can tell Gravity Forms what it is we're charging for. Then we'll go back here to add a consent form. And you'll see why here in just a second. Okay, so now this will work for the basic. Now I'm just going to walk you through Gravity Forms and show you just some of the ins and outs of how it works and how it all fits together. So as you can see here, we've got add-ons back here. Oh, forgot to save. We're going to update it. Come here to add-ons. Now, with the Pro version, I think it's called Pro, it's the super version or whatever you want to call it within Gravity Forms, you've got a bunch of add-ons that you can put in here, which is part of the reason that I like it. It makes it really easy. So if you're using PayPal, you've got PayPal there, you've got ActiveCampaign, Authorize.net, which is what we're going to use for this example. Breeze add-on for project management. I mean, just all sorts of stuff. You can see drop coupons if you want to add coupons. Coupons is actually really cool because that's where you're going to do like your promo codes is a coupon. FreshBooks, HubSpot, iContact. You see there's just tons and tons of options back here, which is really cool. And then the master of all options, you've got Zapier down here too. So it makes it really easy. It's very robust, super easy to add things to. So we are going to go here. We're going to add the signature because I just like having the signatures. We're going to activate our plugin. And then we're going to come back to our forms up here. And we're going to be adding our Authorize.net. So we're going to go to Authorize.net add-on, activate the plugin. All right. Now, if we look at our forms, you see we have our payment test. So we're just going to go back to our payment test. Now that we've got all of our plugins in here and everything set up, we're gonna start to customize the form. So Gravity Forms gives you a lot of functionality inside of here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click required because we want them to fill out their first name. If you want to have a placeholder, you can do that here. First name, and as you can see, it starts typing it in. Last name, very simple, straight to the point. For the sake of this, we're just going to leave them under there. The other thing that you can do with Gravity Forms is you can actually hide the field labels if you want to. Just really depends on how you want it to look. So the other side is you have your custom CSS classes, and there's actually default CSS that you can put in there to style the forms, which makes it look a little cooler. Not, we're not going to get into that. We'll do that in a later video. But right now we're just working on the payment form. So we've got that. Email address, again, we want to make this required. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Appearance, let's make this large so it fills up the entire section. Phone number, want that to be required. And again, field size, let's make it large so it looks good. Oops. Appearance, we'll go large. Here we go. Address, we want this to be required as well. Now, the cool thing about the address is if you're just working in the United States or Canada, you can say it's just US, and if you want, you can, like, if you know you're not really using address line 2, you can take that off. And you can see when you take that off, it takes it off in the field up here. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. So we're going to take that off just to clean it up, make it look good. We want it required. If you're working out of a default state, you can set that there. So let's say Missouri, God's country. And then appearance, if you want to put placeholders in there, you can do that there. All right. Product name. So we're going to call this, let's just call this consulting. Or product description goes here. You want it. All right, so field type, you can say if it's a single product. If you want to have drop downs, you can do that. Radio buttons, user defined price. User defined price is actually a really cool function if you want to take donations, or like if you're doing something where you're doing it for free and people can give you just a set amount or any amount that they want. So it's cool. Hidden calculation if you want it on there, but you don't want to show what the actual price is. And a calculation is if you're starting to run complex forms, you can make it where you can run a bunch of calculations to determine the price. This is going to depend. We're going to keep this simple for right now. So we're going to do a single product. For the price, let's just say it's $97. And then disable quantity field. So if you want to have more than one, you'll leave that there. Or if you want somebody to be able to order more than one thing at a time, you can leave that there. Or if it's just a one-time purchase, they're just buying one at a time, you want them to sign the agreement or whatever, you can do that. You can do make it required. If not, they can get away with not paying it. So that's not helpful. And that's it. The other thing, and this is what we added here, so let's go to the bottom here. Remember, we added our signature, so we're going to drag and drop that at the bottom so you can see your signature there. Consent. This is where you're going to put the terms and conditions. And instead of privacy policy, we're going to put terms and conditions. All right, and now under the terms and conditions, we're going to go to the description and we're going to type in, and what I did is generator just for filler code, that's all that is. So we're going to put that in there. We want to make this required, which means they have to check the box. Now, as you can see with this will actually format it, so it's actually putting all of our spaces and everything in there, so that works out fine. Wonderful. We're going to close that. Signature. We want that to be required. And then appearance, if you want to, you can adjust this. 300 is a little small, so let's just put that at 500 pixels wide. And we're going to update. So the form has updated successfully. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through the back part of Gravity Forms, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Form Settings. This is the title of the form, basic form description, which we went over, label placements. This is all has to do with how it looks, form button, submit, or if you can say pay now or whatever you want to call it, you would put that there. If you want to have conditional logic, you can do that. That gets complex, but it's if-then scenarios. So, that I'll let you decide what you want to use that. Save and continue is kind of cool. It's helpful in some situations, depending on if you're running a big enrollment form or something that's complex, that's going to require a lot of time, or something where somebody might need to come back and do it. Enable entry limit. So let's say you're selling a product online and you only want to take 10 people, or you've only got 10 pairs of shoes you're selling. You can enable an entry limit. You can also schedule the form. So if you want to set a start time and an expired time, you can do that, which would be really cool for a sale if you want to do that, because I know a lot of people right now are getting ready to run sales. If you want to require people to be logged in, this is really good if you're running a blog that you want people who are subscribed. If not, don't worry about it. All right, anti-spam honeypot. You do want to enable that, because that will help prevent spam posts coming through. And then animated transitions. I leave that off because anytime you start getting into animations, it starts bogging down your page load times and stuff. So just leave that be, and it'll be fine for now. So, all right, we've got all of our form settings. We got it the way we want it to go. Confirmation. So the default confirmation, and this is something that right now this is a template, so there's not really any pages set up. But your default confirmation, you have 3 options inside of Gravity Forms, which is really cool. First one's text, so you can say thanks for ordering from us. We will get in touch with you shortly. Or if you want to redirect them to a page, an internal page, let's say. Well, since this is just kind of built out, we're just going to throw it on the contact page. Or if you want to redirect, if you have an external page, so let's say that you want to send them to another website, another page for whatever reason, like a Facebook group or something like that, you could put that in there. So page, we're just going to do page, and then this gets complex. This is redirecting the query string if you want to pass along data. That gets into developing out. Again, we're trying to keep things simple for you, so we're not going to worry about that for right now. Let's go into notifications. Notifications. This is where you're going to get notified as the admin, and then this also will be where you will notify your clients, where you can set it up to go from your website. So we're going to put this as, we're just going to call this owner notification. Enter email, and so my name's Keith. I'm at SiteBuddy, if I can spell, which apparently I can't. So this is who we're sending it to. Now the from name, we're going to call this, let's just call it master template, because that's what we're building on. Now your from email address, this is something that's important. If you're, let's say I was building this on sitebuddy.co. If I was doing that, I would actually, let's just do a hypothetical. I would put this as website, let's call it SiteBuddy Forms. And then from here, I would just call it form at sitebuddy.co. And the reason I would do that is because you want your from email address to be the same as your domain name up here. Because if not, it could actually get flagged as spam, and it just turns really ugly, and you don't want that, and then you start missing stuff. Subject line, so we're going to say new order. And with this, we can come over here to our drop down on the right-hand side, and you're going to see that you've got required, we've got form fields that you can put in there, all of them that we put in there. You can see it all right there. And so let's just say, we're going to say new order from first name and last name. And then down here, this is where you can build your form. If you want to get complex and you want to get fancy, you can come in here. You can go first name, and then put that there, last name, put that there. Or if you just know that this is more just for a notification purpose, you can just go all submitted fields, and it'll just send it to you just kind of willy-nilly. Click Save Notification. And you see it gives you a warning there, using a third-party email in the from email field may prevent your notifications from being delivered, which is okay, because again, this is just hypothetical. We're just showing you how. Personal data. This is if you want to prevent the storage of IP addresses during the form submission. It's a great idea. If you don't want to store any data on your website, this is where you do it. You can trash entries automatically, which is not good, or which is good, just depending on however you want to run this. You can delete entries permanently, automatically, if you want to make sure that nobody ever has access. So it just depends on how you want to run this. And exporting and erasing data, you can enable integrations with WordPress for exporting. That's just some of the choices that you have there. Now, here's where the rubber hits the road. We're going to get into Authorize.net. So Authorize.net feeds, first thing you have to do is you must add a credit card field to your form before creating a feed. Crap, I forgot that. So we're going to come over here. We're just going to open this in a new tab. So pricing, do credit card, and we'll just do it right under the pricing there. Update. Come back here, refresh our page. All right. Now you'll notice it says now to get started, please configure your Authorize.net settings. So we're going to come over here and do that. If you want to stay on this page, a quick trick, if you don't know it, you can hit Control and click on a link, and it'll open it in a new tab in your window. But where we're going is over here. We're going over to the settings, but I'm just going to click it, and you see it pops up right there. All right, and from here we have our modes. And so we've got I don't know why it didn't bring me over. Just come over this way. All right, so in here we've got our production and we've got our test mode. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our API login. We're gonna get our API login ID and transaction key. Now, your transaction key inside of Authorize.net is something that it will only give you one time. So anytime you get your transaction key, you want to store that because once you have it, you can't go back in and just re-find it. You actually have to reissue another one, which makes all your old transaction keys go obsolete, which means that if you have it tied to, let's say you have it tied to your website, you've got it tied to a couple other things, it can actually disconnect it and just cause a little bit of a mess all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pause this, I'm going to enter the information, and I'm going to go to the next page because I don't want you seeing it. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay, I'm back, and we have finished all of our settings inside of Authorize.net. We're all set up here, so we're going to go back down here to Authorize.net. And if you didn't notice, it was magic, but I just, one thing that's important to know is this will not actually work until you have this set to live. If you try to do it under testing or production, it's not going to give you this option. So as you can see now, we have Authorize.net feeds, and we can create one. So we're going to go add new, and we're going to call this, let's just call it monthly recurring. And watch this. Transaction types. We have two different types here. So we've got a product or a service, which is a one-time fee, or you have a subscription. The one-time fee is just that, super easy. You can just do form total, or you can pick, remember consulting was our product name, so you can pick consulting and it goes there. And then it just populates all the information. So you have their email address, their address information, phone number. You can send Authorize.net email receipt. You can enable conditions. If you want to make it like if it's, I know I work with a lot of credit repair companies. If you're not in Georgia or you don't want to work with someone in Georgia, you can enable it so that it defaults it to turn off if that's the case. And then API settings, this is if you want to override, and this is actually something new, which is kind of cool. If you've got multiple Authorize.net accounts, you can actually put in the different API logins and transaction keys in here so that it will run it from a different account. And then, something that you could do with that is, so let's say you're load bearing and you've got two different Authorize.net accounts that you're doing. You can make this where you select a condition, and in some states you run it off one account, other states another account. However you want to do that. Just showing you some of the options. But what I really want to show you, and this is where I think a lot of people are going to lean more towards, is the subscriptions. So Subscriptions and Gravity Forms are they're really handy, really good to use, pretty simple. But there's a couple things to know about this. When you're running subscriptions, you're gonna see that there's the way that it's set up is it's set up that you just take the one amount and that you run it and it just runs it every 30 days. So if you're trying to get fancy, it gets very complex. I actually have not been able I haven't been able inside of Gravity Forms to really manipulate it to the point that it effectively runs multiple things without getting into some really deep coding. And then at that point, it starts to get a little wonky and it's not the best for complex billing scenarios. But if you're just doing a basic thing, like you're charging an upfront fee, and then you're charging just a monthly recurring fee, it's going to work out great for that. So as you can see here, we've got our monthly subscription, and we're just going to say subscription. So the consulting, let's say it's $97 billing. You see that you can set it up under days. You can set it up under months, which is helpful. So let's just say we're going to do once a month, and let's just say it's an infinite time. Now, check this out. Setup fee. The setup fee is if you want to charge more, you can actually select a product field. So we're going to save this, and I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to show you this so that you can see how to set up a how to set up a setup fee. So update it. So we're going to go back to our form. Now, this is actually a really good place, and you're going to see kind of why the hidden field becomes becomes important inside of here. So Gravity Forms, we're going to go do product name, and we're going to make this required. We're actually going to make this one hidden, and you'll see why here in a second. So with the label field, we're going to come in here, and we're going to call this just setup fee. And hidden, and let's call this $100. So now we're charging now we've got a setup fee for $100 plus the $97 for the first month of consulting. And let me show you why this is important. We're going to come back here to authorize.net. Monthly recurring, we're going to edit. Okay. So as you see, we have setup fee, and what we're going to do is we're going to click setup fee. So what happens is with Authorize.net, it's going to take that consulting fee for the $97 plus the setup fee. So it's $197. So that's why I didn't just go in and say, hey, we're just going to charge $197. Doing that just doesn't work. I've tried it, it doesn't work. The easiest way to do it is to set up a hidden field that has the difference between your recurring amount and the setup. So, and then again, it's got all your information down here, and this is what will happen now is when somebody comes in, it's going to automatically send them a receipt from Authorize.net. It'll charge your Authorize.net account. So this is running directly into Authorize.net. So now you've got this set up. Now I want to show you just a couple really quick things as just kind of an added bonus. I'm going to show you how you can automate your sales process to go into your CRM, or either way, automate it to pretty much go wherever you want it to go. And I showed you. We're going to come over here to add-ons. So again, you can, if you've got Active Campaign, I love Active Campaign. It's one of my favorites. If you don't have a subscription, I've got it on the homepage of sitebuddy.co. Make sure to check it out. It's wonderful. It's super easy to use. Agile, I've used it, love it. It's nice and easy. Aweber, I mean, they've got a ton of them. But again, you've got the granddaddy of them all, which is Zapier. We're going to activate Zapier. Now, as you can see, if you've got Zapier and you've got software that will plug into Zapier, everything you can zap everything on your forms. So I'm just going to go to our forms. Now watch this. If you see how we got our payment test here, if you go to settings, you see Zapier right there. It says you don't have any Zap feeds. So what you're going to do is you're going to go create one, and super easy. We're going to go, let's just call this recurring payment. And when you go into Zapier, it's going to ask you for a webhook, or when you can go into Zapier, and let me just open that up and show you real quick, because might as well. All right, so we're going to come over here. I'm not sure if it's showing you Zapier or not. Oh no. I'm not sure if my my video is transferring over. That's okay. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to go into Zapier. We're going to click Make a Zap. And what you're going to do is choose, under Choose App and Event, we're going to click, you're just going to type in Web Hook. And you'll see Webhooks by Zapier. And you do have to have premium. So yeah, you'll want to do that. And then I believe we're going to do Retrieve Pull. I'm not sure. Maybe Catch Hook. It's going to be one of the three. Just I can't remember off the top of my head. So we're just going to call this. We're going to call it Retrieve Pull for now. When you click Continue, what's going to happen is, oh, we're not going to do that one because that's not the right one. So we're going to go back up here. We're going to change this real quick because apparently it's been a minute since I've done this. So we're going to go Catch Hook. There we go. If you do Catch Hook, it's going to give you custom webhook URL. We're going to copy it. We're going to go right here. We're going to paste it right there. And then active user admin labels, yes. Conditional logic. If you want to have conditional logic, again, you can. Save Zapier feed. And now when somebody makes a payment, fills out a form, it's going to kick it over into Zapier and it's just going to take it and it's going to run with it. It's that simple. And that's it. I mean, as you can see, we haven't spent a ton of time on this, but that's how you set up your payments. Now, if you need, I'm going to put a link to Gravity Forms in here that you can click on that will take you. You've got to have the ultimate version, which is $250, or if you're doing the software package with SiteBuddy for $29.99, you actually get a copy of Gravity Forms with all the add-ons, everything. It's included in your monthly subscription for just $29.99 a month. So yeah, any way we can help you. If you want to just go to Gravity Forms, do that. If you want to save a little bit of money with us, more than happy to help you. Just glad to help out. Hope you guys make a ton of money on your website. And if you need anything, just send me a message, comment on the post, or wherever you find this. Just shoot me a message. Let me know. I'm always happy to help. And hopefully this helps you make a ton of money. Talk to you soon.